Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today is another diamond paint with me while I continue working on Treasure Studios art, Cherry Blossom by Lizzie Falcon. And I finally have gotten to the last square on this row. I don't remember when I started this diamond painting, but it seems like it's been a long time. Now, I don't diamond paint every day like I used to, so, and you know, it's a journey, right? Yeah. So today is Friday, October 1st. So happy October, right? Our fire pit came yesterday, so Bill is able to get some firewood at his workplace, and I'm guessing he's going to try to put it together tomorrow so we can use it tomorrow night, possibly. So yesterday turned out to be an interesting day. Our job only lasted like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, but what a fucking shit show. Like the audio, the whole time, the audio was like, I said it was distorted, but my boss was like, the term is like blown out. Okay, well, I'm not going to forget that term now because that seems to happen quite a bit. So we had trouble with the audio, and then one of our team members, they got kicked out of the file, and when you come back in, it's like she couldn't get the audio to work, and I was just like, oh my God. So I was 2 hours behind this job, getting it ready, finalized. It should have never been 2 hours. Because when I have to stop and help everybody, or try to solve a problem, it puts me behind in editing. And so I was just kind of fit to be tied at the end of the day. Bill did go skeet shooting, you know, like clay pigeon shooting with his daughter's boyfriend. So he left the house at like 4:30 and he didn't get home until like 7:45. So I had a couple hours in there. I had thawed out the chicken tikka masala for dinner, so I had that. I played a bunch of Candy Crush, and I actually talked to my boss on the phone for an hour because I filled her in on what had been going on with the arbitration with the team, all of the things that had been going on, and we talked about the other dates going forward. And because she had messaged me and said, you know, I know you get frustrated with work. Well, yeah, I said I'm frustrated every single day managing the team. But thank God next week, our normal team member who has been on vacation this week is back. Thank God. Because I can't. Yeah. So I'm praying today. Say a prayer for me today that today goes well because I don't have full coverage for the whole day. After 2 o'clock, it's only two of us. Two of us, it's very difficult to do our job. And it makes it difficult. I could possibly not get a break. I'm hoping the job is over before then. I'm praying to God. I'm praying because they give an estimate of time, and they always say 9 to 5, but most jobs don't go that long. They don't. So I am praying to God that today is not like that. And I also talked to my boss yesterday about the audio, and I'm like, please make me understand how the audio gets messed up on your end when it sounds crystal clear one day and the next day it doesn't. And apparently she had changed some setting for what happened yesterday. So she was like, I'll make sure I fix that. Yeah, please do. Like, really? Yeah. So Bill came home and we watched a tiny bit of TV. And then I was just too tired last night to do any stitching. So I didn't do any stitching. And I watched the last episode of the 4th season of Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton. Oh my God, I love that show. It's over now though. Like that was the final season. So good. And then I was watching the show Glow. Glow Up? Glow? I want to say it's called Glow. It's like a makeup competition. I just had that on kind of in the background. I was playing Candy Crush and different stuff. And then I read a tiny bit before bed. The book I'm reading is very interesting. It's called The Wedding Night, and it's by Harriet Turner. Harriet somebody. I have it linked in the description box. this group of friends, everybody's an adult. They're supposed to go to their friend's wedding like in France or something. And the wedding gets canceled like a week before. And it's too late for everyone to cancel their reservation, apparently. So they all decide to go, including the bride, the person that was going to be the bride. And it tells the story in each person's perspective. And there's something weird going on with the bride. And then someone is terrorizing her at this resort. And it's well, it's got to be one of the people that are with her, one of her friends. So it's not like my usual true suspense or thriller, but there is a mystery in there. So it's all right, what's really going on? And I'm a third of the way through the book. It's about a 300-page book. I'm on page, I think, 101 or something. But I feel with this book, the author, way too verbose. They're using all these big words, and I'm I don't even know the definition of half these words. I'm not looking them up, though. But I was you could have made this a little simpler. But okay, this is the first book that I've read by this author. But yeah, it's book number, I want to say it's book number 43 for me for the year. So 7 more books to read, and I'm ahead. I'm ahead 5 books, apparently. 4 books, something like that, to get to my goal of 50 books for this year. So I have no doubt that I'll get there. And tonight, barring if I don't have to work late, we're going to have spare ribs and baked potato for dinner. So that should be really good. And we're going to watch the Big Brother finale because that was on Wednesday. So I've been trying to avoid social media so I don't see who the winner was, especially Facebook, because it would be on there. I don't hardly go on Facebook anyway. And yeah, I have a massage tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad it's the weekend. Yeah. And then we do have a job on Monday. But okay, so today's story is an unexplained mystery. I know. We love them, we hate them, right? Yes. So this one is called The Long Walk. On the mild Sunday afternoon of December 1st, 1946, 18-year-old Paula Jean Weldon slipped into a red parka jacket with a fur-trimmed hood and pulled on a pair of white sneakers. Which reminds me, I need to get a new winter coat for this winter. I think I'm going to try Old Navy because that's where I had my puffer vest from last year, and I really liked it. So I probably should go on there, soon, and start looking for a coat because they sell out, and I know winter stuff is in the stores now. Okay. Paula was a sophomore at Bennington College in Vermont, majoring in art. She had worked 2 shifts in the school cafeteria that afternoon and had then returned to her dorm room in Dewey Hall. There she donned the aforementioned items and told her roommate that she was going to take a walk on a local section of the Long Trail, a picturesque 270-mile hiking route that stretches from Vermont all the way to the Canadian border. Paula did not tell her roommate how long she would be gone, but the girl assumed it would only be a few hours. The clothes she was wearing were quite adequate for the 50-degree temperature of the afternoon, but they would not be adequate once night fell. Because it's cold. Yeah. There would be several further sightings of Paula Weldon that afternoon. A group of her fellow students saw her leaving the campus. Danny Fager, who worked at a service station across from the college, saw her walking along Route 67A in the direction of Bennington. That was at around 2:30 p.m. 15 minutes later, at 2:45, a local contractor named Louis Knapp found her hitchhiking along that road. He took her as far as Route 9, about 3 miles from the Long Trail. At around 4:00 p.m., Ernest Whitman and 3 friends were coming out of a camp in Bickford Hollow when they saw Paula approaching. She asked how far the trail ran, and Whitman told her that it went all the way to Canada. Sometime later, there were sightings of the pretty blonde student near Fay Fuller Camp further along the trail. Darkness was now beginning to fall, but Paula was still bearing doggedly northward, showing no inclination to turn around and head back. After that, Paula Jean Weldon disappeared and she was never seen again. Well, anything could have happened, right? Paula was not reported missing that night. When she failed to return, her roommate simply assumed that she had gone to the library to study. But by the following morning, alarm bells were well and truly jangling. Paula's roommate notified the school authorities. They checked with the security officer on duty and found that Paula had not signed the gate register that night, as she would have been required to do had she returned after 11 o'clock p.m. Mary Garrett, director of admissions, then supervised a search of the campus. Finding no trace of the missing girl, Garrett contacted State's Attorney William Travers. He alerted the local sheriff, and Paula's father, William Archibald Weldon, was also notified and arrived at the college later that day. Over the next 2 weeks, a massive search was launched for Paula, involving the police, firefighters, National Guard troops, and hundreds of volunteers. Bennington College was shut down for several days so that staff and faculty could join in the search. Help was also sought from neighboring jurisdictions, with even the Connecticut State Police getting involved. In addition, there was air support, a light aircraft with a spotter scanning the ground and directing the searchers. Much of this effort was focused on a 10-mile stretch of the long trail from Route 9 all the way to Glastonbury Mountain. However, the searchers were confined to just 20 feet on either side of the path. Beyond that, the land was extremely rugged and almost inaccessible. A team was also sent to check out Everett Cave on nearby Mount Anthony because Paula had once expressed an interest in visiting the area. Okay. But were the searchers even looking in the right place? Yeah, had Paula even entered the woods at all? A taxi driver came forward to say that he had dropped a young woman matching Paula's description at the bus station on Sunday afternoon. The woman had not said where she was headed, but the schedules indicated that she might have traveled to a number of destinations, including Albany, Burlington, and New York City. None of the clerks could recall selling her a ticket, though, and none of the bus drivers remembered her. Paula's description was nonetheless circulated as far away as Massachusetts and New York. It generated a number of leads, and none of them checked out. There were other sightings, too. A waitress at a diner in Fall River said that she had served a young blonde woman who was in the company of a man of around mid-20s. The man was drunk and abusive. The girl seemed distraught. At one point, the girl had called the waitress over and said that she had to get to Bennington and asked for directions. Such stories are common in missing person cases, of course, and the police attached little credence to this one. Instead, they were going back to the source, carrying out a second, more thorough search of the campus. That was on Tuesday, December 3rd. At the same time, officers were still working the long trail, this time assisted by a local hunter named Herman Spencer, who had an in-depth knowledge of the area. Dozens of men walked the trail to Glastonbury Mountain, beating the bushes on either side of the path. Others followed the trail's many tributaries from Bennington all the way to Brattleboro. They found not a single clue to the missing girl's whereabouts. The theory behind these searches was that Paula Weldon had gotten herself lost in the woods and, inadequately dressed for the nighttime temperatures, had died of exposure. Yes, completely possible, right? But the failure to locate a body led the police to consider other possibilities. The most pervasive of these was that Paula had encountered a predator, either human or animal, somewhere in the woods. Or perhaps she had been kidnapped or suffered a fall or committed suicide. Well, she probably didn't commit suicide. The bus station sighting also led some to believe that her disappearance had been staged. What? It emerged that Paula had been unhappy, possibly depressed. Her unhappiness may well have had something to do with her home life, since she had chosen not to join her family for Thanksgiving the weekend prior to her vanishing. Friends suggested that there may have been some disagreement with her father. Okay. On the Saturday night prior to her fateful hike, though, Paula had been in unusually high spirits. According to her fellow students, she had seemed excited about something. Could it be that she was anticipating the events of the next day? that she was thinking about running away and dropping out of sight. It's possible, of course, but not likely. It doesn't sound like that was the likely scenario. Paula had left the campus without her personal belongings and without any money. How far would she get under those conditions? Not very far. And how had she left town, since it did not appear to have been by bus and she didn't own a car and didn't drive? Okay. Paula, according to her friends, did not have a boyfriend, so that possibility could also be ruled out. As with most mysteries, the simplest explanation was probably the best. All indications were that Paula had vanished while walking the long trail. But wouldn't they be able to find her body, is my question, right? On December 15th, with the weather worsening and no sign of the missing woman, the search was finally called off. Paula's father would organize another search in May the next year after the snow melted. This one lasted 2 days and similarly came up empty. At that time, Archibald Weldon issued a statement criticizing the authorities' handling of the case. His comments would be taken to heart and would be a catalyst for the founding of the Vermont State Police. 7 months later, it was too little too late for the lost girl in the woods. What happened to Paula Weldon? The most likely scenario is that she died of exposure and that her body fell somewhere that the search parties failed to reach. Either that or she encountered a killer along the path. Ooh. Someone who dragged her into the undergrowth for his own nefarious purposes, then killed her and buried her body. But who might that person have been, right? The most likely candidate seems to be a man named Fred Gadet. Gadet was a lumberjack who lived in a cabin in the woods close to the Long Trail. On the afternoon that Paula went missing, he had an argument with his girlfriend and stormed off. He later told police that he encountered Paula a short distance down the trail, but still fuming, he passed her by without a word. Sus. Gadet's whereabouts over the next 24 hours are unaccounted for, and he gave conflicting accounts to investigators. However, he always maintained that he had not harmed Paula Weldon, and the authorities were unable to prove otherwise. In later years, Gadet again attracted attention when the police received a tip-off. The lumberjack had been boasting in a local tavern that he knew the location of Paula's body. Gadet was hauled in again, but insisted that it was just the booze talking. He liked to shoot off his mouth when he had had too much to drink. Okay, maybe he should be shutting his mouth. Fred Gadet remains the most likely suspect questioned by the police in the course of their inquiries. However, there are some who suggest that Paula's disappearance might have a far less conventional explanation. The area around Bennington has been at the center of many strange vanishings, so much so that paranormal author Joseph A. Citro dubbed it the Bennington Triangle. Ooh. In the 3 decades between 1920 and 1950, as many as 10 people disappeared from the area around Glastonbury Mountain. In each case, the circumstances were unfathomable, the bodies never found. The area has also been a hotspot for reported UFO activity and Bigfoot sightings. Okay. Strange lights are sometimes seen in the sky, and eerie noises emanate from the woods at night. And this is not a recent phenomenon. Native American tribes considered the mountain to be cursed and avoided it at all costs. Their legends were filled with tales of strange, hairy creatures that inhabited the woods. So, alien abduction, Bigfoot attack, or murderous lumberjack? You decide. Let me tell you about Bigfoot. So, Bill is someone who feels like he saw Bigfoot when he was a kid. He stands by that. I've never seen it, so I can't say whether it's true or not. I believe that Bill thought he saw it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, yeah. I don't know. Like, obviously she's gone. She disappeared, and all this time she's probably dead. I think that Fred guy has something to do with it. Maybe that will be a cold case down the road. A cold case and solved, right? So let me know what you guys think down below. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.